Good evening, folks. It's Friday, May the 10th, and I'd like to extrapolate some more information within the context of language and linguistics. So I came up with this interesting concept, right? The concept is called aggregating the figurative aspect of linguistic disparity, the non-literal aspect of language, in particular, and I'll use a metaphor. Isn't that ironic? I'm using a metaphor to define metaphors. It is the aesthetic appeal of language. It is the icing of the cake. It is language aesthetics. And I came up with this interesting unorthodox theory of aggregating disparity, figurative disparity. I hope none of you freaking son of a biatches steal my conceptual approach to aggregating disparity. And well, actually, no, I'll take that back. Aggregating figurative disparity and figurative devices. Rhetorical devices and abstract devices. And one aspect I'd like to add to the equation is let's take a figurative, a non-literal term like oxymoron, which is when two words contradict each other. Like let's say ugly or cute or ugly, or the opposite of that's like an oxymoron, and a paradox is like an extension of an oxymoron, but it is within a syntactical context. When to a sentence, there's opposition within a sentence, contradicts itself, but it can also be true. And then you have lexical and syntactic ambiguity. Lexical ambiguity is the ambiguity of the word, and syntactic ambiguity is the ambiguity of the sentence. Lexical oxymoron is the contradictions of the words, and paradoxes is the contradictions between the sentences. Although the paradox within the paradox is within the context of the sentence can also somewhat be true and also be false, but there's a level of contradictions. The commonality between that's a stupid idea I'm presenting. That's just aggregating the figurative aspect of linguistic, aggregating the figurative devices, the rhetorical devices, and the abstract devices. I'm excluding concrete terms out of the equation just for now, right? So the commonality between oxymorons and lexical ambiguity is one is the ambiguity of the word, and one is the contradictions of the word, and one is the ambiguity of the sentence, and one is the contradictions of the sentence. That's so irrelevant, but people always faced conflicts between metaphors, similes, and analogies and idioms. Idioms and metaphors are primarily the same, The differentiating factor is when one has become integrated into society. It has become a trademark. Like break a leg is an idiom. From a literal perspective, it's self-explanatory. But from a non-literal, aesthetic, figurative perspective, looking at it from its device methods, it means kick ass, basically. And here's a primary example. Isn't that ironic, using a metaphor to explain a metaphor within a metaphor? Right? This is the beauty of language appeal and aesthetic appeal. Right? So I hope you all understand, the major differentiating factor. Similes are easy when it's like is like, or he is like a, or like a is applied. They're all primary, kind of the same, but they're all mutually exclusive contextually. Right? But from a semantical standpoint, they all share, kind of synonymic commonality. Yeah. Stay tuned, mother. I don't curse. I'm Christian.